Hey Arian, this is Dave Hooke, just checking in on a task that I think you may have done some of this work towards the end of last year, but I'm not entirely sure, and Jenna couldn't remember either. So I'm going to do a screen recording for you just to give you an idea of what to do. This is the email that I sent Jenna towards the end of last year, and it just said, see attached screenshot of John's APA. You'll see a section titled Sales Budget, and below that actual sales. I need someone to go in Business Tracker and complete the actuals. So you're gonna get data from the Business Tracker and put it into the APA to complete the actuals. I'll show you what that means in a second. Next, you'll see the number of actuals that came from SOI versus system versus scrubbed. And that section needs completed. Lastly is critical activities. This data can be pulled from weekly critical activities tracker. Once the data is received off of these places, it can be inputted into the APA, and then that part is complete. Each agent has an APA, and so basically we just need to get the data from the weekly critical activities tracker and the business tracker, and maybe the buyer appointment tracker, and put it in the APA for each agent, and then save it and make sure it's accurate. And then that's step one of the process. And then after that, we're going to need to complete a portion of the biannual core value and APA review agenda. And I'll show you that in a second. So we take data from our trackers, we complete the APA, and make sure it's accurate. And then we take data from the APA and complete the biannual core value and APA review agenda. So there's two tasks, and I'm going to take you through both of them right now. So this is the email that you'll see. And it just says, take a look at the email thread below for what we did in 2017. We just did that. Arian can complete the APAs for John, Laney, Andrew, Sarah, and Drew using the same tools referenced below. Again, the buyer appointment tracker, the universal weekly critical activities tracker, and the business tracker. The name of the current APA for each agent starts with one primary 2018 APA. So if you needed to search for an agent's APA in Google Drive, you just go one primary, and then you can see them all right here, and you could open them that way. Once the APAs are completed for up to June 30th, Arian can take that data from the APAs and input them into the primary APA core value and biannual review agenda. Here is the screen recording. So you'll see that come through the email. This recording will be right here. To make it a little easier, I just gave you links for each agent for the biannual review agenda. So you should be able to click on that link, and you won't have to search for it through Google Drive, and the 2018 APA for that agent. Again, you should be able to click on that link, and you won't have to search for it. If you do have to search for it, the biannual review agenda should be just as easy to search for. There you go, buy-in. I just typed that in, and each one of them comes up that way. All right, and so let's just take you through doing, I'll take you through what it would look like to do John's, and then I'll let you do the rest of them. And I'm not going to do John's, I'm just going to show you what to do when doing John's. So again, the first task is to take the data from the trackers and get it into the APA. So the APA is right here. So I'm going to get the data from the trackers into this document. And then the second task is to take the data from this document and fill out part of this document. So let's do the first task first. So we're going to go into John's APA. You see I have all the trackers that I need already open. So here's John's APA. And I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. Okay. And so I have the business tracker open, the buyer appointment tracker, the older one that has most of the year, And then the brand new one we just created, which has the last couple weeks. And then the Universal Critical Activities Tracker for 2018, which has all of the agent's critical activities that you report on. And then I have his agent performance agreement. So if you see here, it says his goals for the year. He has a budgeted goal to hit 40 settlements and a stretch goal to hit 50. We have a little note that his stretch goal of 50 is 35 buyers and 15 listings. So we're just going to report his actual sales. Okay? All the way to June. And so I think John has like 23 closed and pending right now. So the numbers we put in here need to add up to the amount he has closed and pending. So if we go into the business tracker, there's probably a couple ways to get the data out of John's, the amount of closings that he has. Let me just take a look. I mean, one way to do it is just to go to the sales input tab. And, you can just go down through where agent, anytime you see John, you can just make a note that he had date of closing. So 1 in February, 2 in February, 3 in February, 1 in March, 2 in March, 3 in March, 4 in March, and then we're into April. So a few in February, 4 in March, and then you do April. And you would just input those answers right into this. And hopefully they would add up to the amount he has closed and pending right now. This is his target for how many in quarter 1 he wants to be SOI, and how many team and how many scrubbed, and how many quarter 2 SOI, team, and scrubbed. And so we'll want to fill out these actuals just for quarter 1 and quarter 2. And the way to do that is to go into Business Tracker, go to the Dashboard tab, and then just go to, it's down here somewhere. Right here. So each agent, so it's in this section on the dashboard. You have to scroll down. Let me just give you, you have this appointment summary. So if I go all the way to the top, you go down to where it says appointment summary. Right here. And then you can go down a little further to right here, to this big spreadsheet. And at the bottom of that, it says Agent SOI System Scrubbed and Gimme. And so for some reason, I don't think all Johns are inputted here, but this has him as 18 system, 2 scrubbed, and 1 SOI. And so you can't, you can kind of see that's John's column. And you can get in the sales input tab, the actual months that he did those settlements. And so, for John, this one, his first one was scrubbed, or if we go up to the top, his first one was system, and that was a February closing. So in February, he had 1 system, 2 systems, 3 systems. And in March, so February had 3 systems. And so for this one, we would note, so far in quarter 1, he has 3 in that category. If we kept going with John, we're still in quarter 1. Now he has 1 SOI and 3 systems. Now he has 4 systems and 1 SOI. Now he has 4 systems, 1 scrubbed, and 1 SOI. Now he has 5 systems, 1 scrubbed and 1 SOI. And now we're into April, so we're past Q1. So in Q1, he has 5 systems. I think I said 1 scrubbed and 1 SOI. So we have, this would be 5, this would be 1, and this would be 1. And so I can see that he's a little off on his goal. He wanted to get 3 SOI in Q1 and 3 scrubbed and 5 team, and he met this goal, but not the other 2. And then you would do Q2. All right, and so that would complete this section and this section. And then you want to go down to his critical activities, which are new buyer appointments, new listing appointments, expired appointments, prospecting and follow-up, live answers, social posts, note cards, friend requests, and social contacts. And so the place you can get these, you want to complete right through June, how many new buyer appointments he set, new listing appointments he set, expired appointments that he set, prospecting and follow-up, live answers, and complete those. So you're going to get those in a couple places. So you can get the prospecting and live answers and social posts and note cards. And I'm not sure if you can get these anywhere. We might have to leave that blank, but you can get this data from the 2018 Universal OSA Weekly Critical Activities Tracker. And you can sort by John's name. And just like you do the weekly ones, you'll just, for January 2018 through June 30th, right up to today or whenever you do this next week, you'll add up John's prospecting dials. And all you need to do is add up the total. And I don't know if it's possible. I mean, if you can get it to where it's broken down by month, and you can get an approximate per month, that's great. If that's a little too intense, you could just add them all up and divide them by 6, and that'll give an average per month, which is good enough. And then live answers, you can get that data right here as well. Same with note card and all that good stuff. And then the next thing you're going to do is go to new buyer appointments, listing appointments, and expired. So we would go to the buyer appointment tracker and go to the first of the year and see how many John is set for the year. And you also need to use this new one, which is titled 0 New 2018, to get the last couple weeks. And again, we're going to see how many new appointments John has set for the year and if he's keeping up with his goal. And you'll put that in here. And again, if you can get it by the month, great. If you have to do the math and just tally them all and divide it by 6, that's probably okay. And then new listing appointments, we'll want to do listing appointment tracker, which I did not have open. And you want to watch the date here and make sure you get into 2018. So these are all 2017. 2018 starts right here. And so you should be able to just look in this column right here and you can find, there's 1 for John, 2 for John, and I'm just looking to roughly see how many he got. Yeah, when you're counting John's, this is the only agent you'll do this for because it's the only agent that was trying to get listings. If you could just make a note of how many were, like there's an agent generated for John and there's an agent generated for John, but a lot of them are company generated. So just to note, there's another agent generated for John. There's another one. Just to know how many were agent and how many were company generated. And so when you go into here, new listing appointments, put the actual new listing appointments that he attended, and then do the ones that were expired appointments. So when you're in here, you'll be able to see if here's one that's an expired for John, and so the date on this one was set in May. So for that expired appointment, it would be 1 in May, right there. And so anyway, he'll have a few expired appointments probably in here, and then he'll have a number of new listing appointments total here. And then just over here, put company, and then input the amount of them that were company and the amount that were agent, if you would. That would be super helpful for us. Okay. And that should get you, all of this then would be completed. Okay. And so that's all you need to do to complete the APA. Again, just to summarize, this comes from the business tracker. This data right here comes from the business tracker. And then this data right here comes from the weekly critical activities tracker. You're just going to fill these out. And this data comes from the buyer appointment tracker and the listing appointment tracker. And then you're done. It'll say all changes saved in Drive, and you're done. Then the second part of the task is to go to John's, in the email, you'll click on John's biannual review agenda, which is right here. And you'll refer to the APA that you just completed, and you'll open up John's biannual review agenda. And you'll scroll down to the section of the review agenda that we're about to complete. So at the top is like last year's review, 2017. So you'll just want to scroll down here till you get to this review, mid-year review, 2018. You don't need to complete positive focus. That's for when I meet with John, he'll give me positive stuff. You'll just want to review, number of closings. So his number of closings, number of closings by June 30th, you'll put in here. So maybe he had 23 closed in pendings, but only 21 closings by the end of June. So that would go there. And then his approximate agent pay, you're going to get from the business tracker, which is right here. And you're just going to scroll down to this section right here where it says agent. You're going to review John, and you're going to see his agent pay is approximately $46,000. And you're going to input that there, and then you're going to do lead sources. And so you can kind of use the format, from the last one. If you just scroll up, you can see what we did. We put his closings, his pay, and then the lead sources for the mid-year. So he had 10 SOI, 15 team, and 8 scrubbed at that point. And then you don't have to fill that out. You don't have to fill this out. And then you'll fill these out. So new buyer appointment, actual, goal, and then, behind or ahead. Actual, goal, behind or ahead. Actual, goal, behind or ahead. And then the meaningful conversations. And then you don't need to fill this out. Number 4, you don't need to fill this out, and you don't need to fill this out. So the only things that need filled out is this section, number 2, and this section, number 3. Once you do that, it should say all changes saved in Drive, and you're done with John. And then you'll do that for each agent. You'll go right down through and do Andrew, Lainey, Sarah, and Drew in the same way. So if you have any questions, let us know, And thanks, as always, for all your work.